dirt sheet. Hey! Hey! Hey!
Yo, what is good? Welcome to the All Elite Dirt Sheet, your AEW Dynamite, and in this case, Collision post-show. I'm your host, Mike De Niro. As always, I'm joined here by my co-host, the Banger of Podcasting, TK. What is up, man?
Yo, what's going on, De Niro? Everyone watching, appreciate you guys. Hope you guys are having a great day. Hope you enjoyed Dynamite and Collision for sure.
Yeah, and definitely a big show, 3 hours. But before we get into the show, I do want to take a second, give a rest in peace and condolences to the family of Ted Turner. Ted Turner, a guy who revolutionized professional wrestling, someone who really took the fight to the WWF in the 80s and 90s. You know, his stamp on professional wrestling is going to be lasting forever, and his legacy is something that definitely should be celebrated. So rest in peace, Ted Turner.
Yeah, man, I didn't realize, like, I knew how vital he was, obviously. I mean, you know, watching all these post-WCW shutdown things, you always just see Vince McMahon, you know, like Turner, the skits, you know, Billionaire Ted and the Nacho Man and the Huckster. All that aside, what we didn't see was what he really did for professional wrestling. And you see guys, like, the way they started the show yesterday was awesome. What Sting had to say about him, what Tony Schiavone had to say about him. I saw Kevin Nash tweeting about him. I mean, he said he paid these guys like real professional athletes. He went to bat. The networks, the syndications, they did not want wrestling on TV. They thought it was cartoonish, clownish. He said, I don't care. This is a sport. This is entertainment. And still going to this day. Crazy, man. Yeah, I guess I didn't realize just like how actually vital he was until you hear all these people talking about what he did. Pretty amazing stuff.
Yeah, see, that's the unfortunate thing is the winner of the war always gets to tell the story, but it's always from one side, right? When you see the other side, people love Ted Turner, and Ted Turner always went to bat, like you said, for not only his wrestlers, but even for the Atlanta Braves. I was doing some research last night, and he actually suited up and was the coach for the Atlanta Braves for a little bit. He actually put the uniform on and sat in the as the owner. He was the owner and manager of the Braves, which I don't think ever happened before. Like, yeah, like.
No bullshit. I did not know Ted Turner owned the Braves. Maybe there's some point in my life that I knew that. But that's pretty cool. And yeah, he did so much with that. And then with I guess he's the one who like started the syndicated news, like the 24-hour news cycle was him.
For sure. Something I did not mention. Oh, sorry, go ahead. My bad.
No, I was just gonna say just like a real pioneer, man. Like. Not just in wrestling, but in all aspects.
All of entertainment.
Yeah.
One thing I do want to mention, and I'm probably going to mention on the Dragon Ball podcast too, right? This is totally off topic, but he is the guy who created Cartoon Network, and he is the guy who brought Toonami to Cartoon Network, and he is the guy who single-handedly wanted Japanese animes to be more of an adult cartoon to add to the Toonami block. So if it wasn't for Ted Turner, technically, there would be no Dragon Ball Z in the United States. So that is a big contribution for not only just wrestling, but also for anime. So I always thought that was really unique as well. But rest in peace, Ted Turner, for real.
Damn, dude. I had no idea he did any of this stuff, man. Holy cow. So yeah, my biggest takeaway from this, and I say this with, you know, the nicest capacity, Ted Turner was just a big, older, nerdy kid living out his dreams, right? Like living out the things that he loved. And doing it on just a huge, broad scale, dude. You love to see it, man. Pretty cool stuff.
For sure. I mean, shit, if I was a billionaire, I'd be suiting up with the Mets and I'd be buying animes left and right, buying channels. Yeah. Hell yeah.
Managing the Braves, creating anime, supporting professional wrestling on like the biggest scale. Yeah, crazy, man. I mean, there was legit WWE's biggest competition for. I mean, they almost put WWE down, man. WWF down. It's crazy.
For sure, for real. It's definitely a hard loss. When I heard that he passed away, I was really upset yesterday. But starting out with AEW Dynamite, let's get into Dynamite. Definitely enjoyed the way they started out the show. I thought that it was a nice gesture to have Tony Schiavone out there talk about Ted Turner, talk about how AEW is continuing to build on the legacy that Ted Turner created for professional wrestling on this network. And then bringing out Sting, I thought that was really nice as well. You mentioned it also. I thought that was really cool because I didn't think they were going to have just like this show is a memory of Ted Turner, like graphic. I thought they were probably going to mention something like later on in the show, but to start off the show like that, this is really cool that they did that. Do you have any words about the way they started it with the memorial?
No, I thought it was awesome. Yeah, it was a really touching tribute. Like, if you think about it, like Sting said, him and Tony Schiavone on Turner broadcasted television, 40 years, man, apart. Like,
Crazy.
That's crazy to think about, dude. Going back to the 80s to 2026. It's wild. No, I thought the show was a very nice way to start the show. And who better than Sting, right? He's been there for it all.
My question is, did they fly Sting in for that? Like, did they put him on a jet? Because Sting probably would have not been on this show. Or, like, I think Ted Turner, he passed away earlier in the day, and then Sting comes to the show. So they must have like flown him in for that moment, which is really cool for them to do that as well. But
or maybe Sting might just be traveling with them every now and then. As crazy as that, I mean, you might be right. They might have just flown him in for that specifically. Like, Sting, we need you. And I'm sure he's like, yeah, I'll be there. But I like how he put Tony. Right. I like how he put Tony Khan over in the same breath as Ted Turner, because very much of the same, like we discussed about Ted Turner, you can say about Tony Khan as well. Tony is obviously his dad's teams, but he is much involved with football, real football. You can take that for however you want to take that, football fans. Football, real football, wrestling. Obviously, I'm sure he's got a bunch of different ventures that I don't pay attention to as well. So, yeah, man, it was cool that Sting put both of them over in such a big way.
Yeah, I definitely agree. There's definitely that connection there between them. Let's get into the first matchup of the night. Let's get into the action. The Continental Champion Eliminator matchup, Jon Moxley and Juice Robinson. I thought it was a really good matchup. Jon Moxley, if I'm not mistaken, his first matchup after leaving the WWE was against Juice Robinson in New Japan Pro Wrestling. So these guys have been feuding with each other in different companies since Jon Moxley left the whole Dean Ambrose behind him. So this was a good matchup. Like I said, they always had good chemistry with each other. Juice Robinson, I feel like he needs to be in the ring more. I saw sort of like some rust on him, but that's because he's like wrestling every like once in a while and is very sporadic, and he's a very talented wrestler. So I would like to see him more on the show. But Jon Moxley, he always excels in this opening match on Dynamite spot. Good matchup. Jon Moxley wins with the Bulldog choke. What did you think about this opening match?
Big match, John. Back to opening match, John. So that was kind of cool to see. Get Moxley going to start this 3-hour show. Mox and Juice, they got a lot of history with each other. They feuded over the IWGP United States Championship. I'm fairly certain that Juice beat Mox, and Moxley took the belt back from him. That was right after he left WWE. And then I think it was right before he went to AEW, or it might have been right after he went to AEW, because I do remember Lance Archer beating Moxley. Isn't this crazy to think about? Lance Archer beat Moxley for the IWGP US Championship. I believe it was in a Texas death match to main event a Dynamite way back in the day, dude. Pretty crazy stuff. But they had good chemistry. I like what they're doing with the Death Riders and with the Bang Bang Gang. We'll talk about it later. The Stadium Stampede match, I feel like they had Stadium Stampede like lined up right in front of them with these two factions. I'm really confused as to why and what we're doing. Well, I guess we'll talk about that later. I guess that's my only complaint about it. I like where we're going with these two factions, but I don't know. I guess it would had Stadium Stampede written all over. I don't know why we're not going. Jay White should have returned before Double or Nothing. And maybe we're just going to get a Jay White versus Jon Moxley match for the Continental Championship, which maybe Jay White takes from him, which I'm not opposed to. But damn, man, I don't know if we're not going Stadium Stampede where we're going. I don't mean to like book out here, but the match itself was good. And Moxley won with the Bulldog choke again, as he continues to do. But Juice isn't the main guy in that faction, so no way. Yeah. I think this is all got to be leading to a Jay White return in some sort of Death Rider versus Bang Bang Gang match.
Yeah, I mean, one could hope, and I'm right there with you. I even wrote down here, right in this moment, before anything was mentioned later on in the show, because I thought it was going to be more Anarchy in the Arena. Here's your Anarchy in the Arena. You're going to have the Bang Bang Gang versus the Death Riders, and I guess you got to go with the one that's more forced, but we'll talk about that later, like you said. After this, we see a backstage. This was from earlier in the day. We see Will Ospreay training with the Death Riders, and this was really cool. Like, first of all, having Wheeler Yuta doing like the sit-ups on Ospreay's back as he's trying to push him up with the neck to like train the neck was pretty unique. I love Daniel Garcia's like spot in this too. Like he's always the one like doing commentary, like, yeah, here we are again, guys. It's pretty cool. Afterwards, you had Jon Moxley. He was talking to Ospreay about Death Ground and talking about how he has to get his mind right, get his neck right, and that if he doesn't, then he'll still have a spot in AEW, but he could hang out with all the other guys and just get paid to be here, whatever. But that's not Will Ospreay. That's not what he sees for Will Ospreay. And he said that if he wants to be the man, then he has to go through these trials, these tribulations. And this is just so awesome, man. I see a lot of people complaining about, oh, this doesn't make sense. Ospreay and the Death Riders doesn't make sense. You just were feuding and now you're working together. I love the story about the Death Riders. The whole concept was for them to help AEW, to fix AEW. And Jon Moxley is saying without saying it, I'm not the guy to do it. I see that in you. So either you step up and I help you step up to become the man, or just get the fuck out of here. Because if you don't see your own potential, if you don't see the potential that I see in you, then you're never going to make it. So I love this segment. What do you think about this segment? And do you think that this still all makes sense? Because that's been the one criticism I see about everything with the Death Riders and Will Ospreay.
It makes so much sense. I don't get how people think it doesn't make sense. Dude, look at fucking Darby Allin. Moxley, literally, the whole time with Darby, Moxley wasn't trying to hurt Moxley Moxley wasn't trying to hurt Darby. Moxley was trying to get Darby to unleash his full potential. And what did Darby do after the feud? Unleashed his full potential and won the world title. It's very much the same thing, what he's doing with Ospreay here. Obviously, we didn't infiltrate Darby into the Death Riders, as that doesn't make a lot of sense. But this does with Ospreay. I mean, Ospreay tried to kill Moxley, couldn't kill him. He's got hurt again. Dude, get strong with it. Now, I'm intrigued by the other stable, trying to get Ospreay, and I think that's the match that we're leading to at Double or Nothing. So I'm definitely intrigued with everything that's going on with the Death Riders, with what we're going to see from the Ops, with Ospreay, maybe Joe. So I'm all with it, but I love what Ospreay is doing with the Death Riders. These segments are very intriguing. They're very interesting, and it makes a ton of sense, dude.
Let me ask you, did you see from Wrestling Dotaku the backstage segment with the United Empire and Will Ospreay?
Yeah.
And Cal Newman getting all in Will Ospreay's face about it. Do you think that plays a role here as well?
I don't know where we're going with that. When they were in the ring, Ospreay wasn't so big on Cal Newman retaining the championship with the low blow. I think it was the low blow with cheating. So Ospreay was getting some shit for that. And after the match, Newman's like, dude, fuck you, be a man. You're part of this group, right? And he made Ospreay hit, I think it was Sonata. I think it was Sonata or Yota Tsuji, one of them, with the hidden blade. So, and then, he was talking some shit to him afterwards. I don't know. I think we are going to get Ospreay and Callum Newman. I don't know if that's all the way at Wrestle Kingdom next year, or if it's maybe a Forbidden Door match. Like, what if we get Ospreay versus Callum Newman for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship at Forbidden Door? Ospreay can't beat him. He can't conquer that. And then Moxley's got to whip Ospreay into shape a little bit more. In the process of this, Ospreay wins the Owen Hart, gets to go on and challenge what I presume to be MJF for the world title. And there we go. So he lost to Newman. Newman looks strong as fuck by beating Ospreay. And Ospreay's like, fuck, defeated, down. Moxley picks him up, wins the cup, and goes and takes the belts at All In like we all anticipate. Maybe that's a trajectory there. I don't know that you could hold Ospreay and Newman off all the way to Wrestle Kingdom, bro. That's a long, long time away to tell this story.
For sure. I mean, I want to give you the pen right now. Like, that just wrote itself picture perfectly. I love it. I definitely love it. Let's talk about the Double Jeopardy matchup, which ended up being like a lumberjack match. I even texted you. I was like, is this a lumberjack match? Because not only did you have the stipulation of this matchup being that if Dax Harwood beats Orange Cassidy, then they get the trios title shot. But if Orange Cassidy beats Dax, they get the tag title shot. But you had a bunch of shenanigans on the outside. A bunch of people came out in this matchup. Dax Harwood not only comes out with Cash Wheeler and Stokely, but he has Roppongi Vice with him. He has the Dogs with him, and he has Tommaso Ciampa. I thought it would have been just perfect just to have Ciampa and Cash and Stokely, because that's like the trio that we would have got if it was the trio style match. But then out comes Orange Cassidy. He has Roddy, Kyle O'Reilly. He has the Young Bucks. He has Copeland. He has Cage. Basically a lumberjack match. They should have just called it a lumberjack match if they were going to go this route.
Right.
But in the beginning, I was like, all right, this is a little weird. Like, why are we having all these people on the outside? But nonetheless, man, this matchup was a lot of fun. I like Dax. When Dax goes in there and he does these solo matches, like Dax always has good matches one-on-one. And I think that Orange Cassidy is still one of the unsung heroes of AEW, always puts on fun matches. These two have really good chemistry. Dax is like the old school, like wrestler. And then Orange Cassidy is like this new school, like indie guy type dude. And I just thought that they worked perfectly with each other. In the end, though, Orange Cassidy wins. So my question is, does this mean that Orange Cassidy and a partner gets a tag title shot? Or does this mean that Roddy and Kyle get the tag title shot? Because in my opinion, that is the tag team of the conglomeration. They, the Undisputed Era ties and all that. So I would have that. But nonetheless, really fun matchup. You had all hell breakdown after the matchup, a big brawl between all the heels and the faces, and then the heels dip. They leave Roppongi Vice in there. Rocky Romero didn't want none of the smoke. He starts pointing like, hey, get Trent. You had all the baby faces hit some moves on Trent. Big celebration. I love this segment. It was a lot of fun. What do you think about this, the aftermath, and who do you think gets the tag title shots against FTR?
Yeah, man, I thought the match was a lot of fun. It was very interesting with everyone out there. When all these guys were coming out to the ring with FTR, I was like, what the fuck, dude? Like, why were the dogs out there? Why were the dogs out there? And why were the Bucks out there? That to me was, listen, if they just had Roppongi Vice out there, I would have been like, all right, and Ciampa. I'm like, all right, cool. That makes a lot of sense. And then same thing for the conglomeration. If Cope and Cage were out there, the conglomeration already is the trio, so it's 5 and 5 on each end. I don't know what having the Bucks and the dogs out there was for. Obviously, they had the main event match on Collision. They were leading up to that or something along those lines. I don't know. Whatever it is, what it is. Maybe just having the Bucks out there again with Cope and Cage, just bumping shoulders, kind of teasing a little. They didn't really tease friction, but just having them bump shoulders a little bit there. Kids gets the mind rolling a little bit. But overall, I thought the match was really good. I thought FTR would win and Ciampa and FTR would get the trios title shot. I was real surprised that Orange won the match. I don't know who the tag team is going to be. I really like your call out of Undisputed Era. I think that makes a lot of sense. They are the tag team in the group. We have seen FTR in Undisputed Era a whole shitload of times. I think we've seen them like 3 times in AEW alone. So I would guess they probably go Orange Cassidy and Roderick Strong as a tag team just because they were teaming up before Kyle came back and before they got the trios title shot shotted to them. But overall, I mean, the segment was fun. I think the Rocky Romero call out, like you said, was really fun at the end of that segment there. It's cool. What it shows you is that AEW is stacked with this tag team division right now with the Dogs, the Young Bucks. You got Roppongi Vice out there, obviously a lower card, but Cope, Cage, FTR. This is real good stuff, man. And we got a couple teams probably coming in as well, which we'll talk about later, I'm sure, which will probably up that division as well. You got teams like the Rascals, and you got the Opposite. I imagine they're going to have a tag team coming from that squad soon. You got like Bang Bang Gang, like I talked about. This tag team division is fucking hot, dude.
Yeah, no, for sure. And like you said, I definitely do want to talk about the news about what broke this past weekend, because I think, like you said, this tag team division could go from a very strong division to possibly the greatest division that we ever seen in AEW for like all these tag teams all in the same place at the same time. Could be insane. We'll talk about that later, though. Let's talk about the Demand and Chris Jericho, our favorite segment every single week. Let's talk about the segment that always brings the heat. I did like the backstage segment with Jericho and Renee, and then Jericho takes the mic, talks, and then while he's walking into the arena, thought that was really old school and cool. Calls out Ricochet. I like Ricochet. Ricochet is a fun heel. He still sounds so whiny on the mic, though, and it's just like so hard to listen to him. And I understand, like, I don't know, like he makes you hate him, which is what a heel should do. But gosh, his voice is just so fucking annoying when he's talking. Like it's just hard to sit through. Yeah, and it's official, I guess. We're going to be getting Stadium Stampede at Double or Nothing, and it's going to be 5-on-5. Like this matchup isn't forced enough. We're going to force more people in this matchup. We have Jericho, who is still working with the Hurt Syndicate and has to still find 2 more members. You have the Demand, who also have to find 2 members. Where do you think all this goes? And why does this have to be Stadium Stampede? Because like we said earlier, you had it perfectly set up for you right there with the Death Riders and with the Bang Bang Gang. Why are we forcing this when you had something that was already organically set up for you?
I don't know, dude. This sucks. It all sucks. I was so upset about this sucking because I was so excited when Jericho came back, because it was just like, I really thought he was going to go have a Chris Jericho retirement tour, get retired by Gunther next year at WrestleMania and call it a day, dude. This is this is bad. It's been so bad. I mean, the first match was fine. I wouldn't have picked Ricochet as his initial opponent, but whatever, I get it. Jericho should have went over and called it a day. I mean, Ricochet doesn't need to win these matches. That promo was just, like you said, his intention is to be a heel and to get heat, but it's not to sound like a whiny little bitch, stuttering, stammering, like. And I'm not saying the North Carolina, South Carolina thing. Obviously, I think he said that purposely, but North Carolina, like South, like, come on, dude, like, dude,
just go away, Jericho. Like, shut up.
I'm just like, you're a grown ass man out here. Come on, Ricochet, like
going through puberty over there.
Right, that's what it sounded like. He was nervous or something, and I know he's not. So I don't know if he's intentional, like you said. Maybe he's intentionally trying to just sound like a little bitch. I don't know, dude. But whatever the intentions were, it worked. If he sounded like a little bitch, and I was just like, can this fucking promo end? But it just kept getting worse and worse. I thought when Ricochet was going to come out by himself. We're going to get some fucking sort of like cage match at Double or Nothing between the two and end the feud, and I would have been fine with that. But no, the big guys had to come out with him. And I'm like, all right, cool. Well, maybe Brian Keith and Big Bill will make the save. No, that's not going to happen because Brian Keith is in some fucking random match for the fucking international title later. Why? Make that make sense. Make that make sense. I digress. But we're not going to get Big Bill and Brian Keith, obviously, because he's in this fucking title match later in the show. So who's going to come help Jericho? The Hurt Syndicate? Are you fucking kidding me? And listen, I love Bobby and I love Shelton, but for fuck's sake, we saw multiple pay-per-views of these three fucking guys, the Demand and the Hurt Syndicate, going at it last year at this time. And then it carried over to Dynamite. What are we doing here? Why are we have nothing better for the Hurt Syndicate to do than revert to helping Chris Jericho against the fucking Demand? I'm at a loss, dude. I really am. As far as who the Demand's partners are going to be, I don't know. Maybe Big Bill and Brian Keith. Maybe Jericho. I don't care. That's the whole thing. Like at the end of the day, who do you think it's going to be? Like, do you care about any of this?
Nah, I don't care. I mean, to be honest, when they did announce that it was going to be Stadium Stampede, I thought, all right, cool. We'll probably get the learning tree, or I was even thinking maybe you'll bring Sammy Guevara back and like have maybe Sammy Guevara, Daddy Magic, and Angelo Parker, maybe, because I heard that he's ready to come back. Like, bring back the Jericho Appreciation Society, something. But the Hurt Syndicate and Jericho, they go together like oil and water. It doesn't mix for me, right? When I think of someone else dealing with the Hurt Syndicate, I think of someone like Kevin Knight. I think of like, I don't know. It just doesn't seem like this is something that mixes. This is very forced. And also, as boring as this is, it's also detrimental to Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin. These guys were dominant. These guys were killers in AEW last year. And now they're in these like thrown together spots. And it sucks because you got someone like Bobby Lashley, who former champion everywhere he's been, former MMA champion. This man should be top of the card. You know, I would have loved to see Bobby Lashley throw his hat into the ring to get a matchup against Darby Allin. That would have been cool. But instead, Bobby Lashley's in this feud with Jericho and the Demand. It doesn't make no sense. Who's going to be on either side? I honestly don't care. Like, this doesn't move me at all. I could possibly see having the learning tree join the Demand and being that like 5-man tangent, like they have a beef against Jericho. Jericho left them high and dry. I could see that, but I would rather see them with Jericho. I don't know. Yeah, this doesn't move me at all, man. It just seems so forced.
Is there any less imposing team than Ricochet, GOA, Big Bill, and Brian Keith? I mean, like, I don't mean any disrespect. These are big fucking dudes, right? They are like, they're really big fucking beefy guys, most of them. But come on, dude. Like, who cares about it?
Yeah, not when you had Jericho take all three of them out by himself. Like, for a while, he was taking them all out by himself. And then, like, they got the upper hand barely. That led to the Hurt Syndicate coming out. But this is insane, man. I don't know.
I think it would have been cool maybe if, like, Bobby and Shelton would have turned on Jericho and they would have been, like, the other two guys with the Demand. So it would have been Ricochet, Bobby, Shelton, and GOA. Like that's an imposing tag team. And Jericho's like, fuck, I need to find 4 partners now for this match. And, like, Jericho, like, trying to find random partners, and maybe it ends up being the JAS or something when it's all said and done. I don't know, maybe like hires the Death Riders or something. Like, I don't know, but this is not it, dude. Like,
I could see it being something just forced that they just throw together. Like, I could see after you have, Swerve and Bandito, if that does happen at the pay-per-view, then probably not. But I can see that happening like sometime in the next couple of weeks. And you throw like Bandito and Brody with the Hurt Syndicate and Jericho. Like just that's what they do. Like they just throw a bunch of people randomly together. It doesn't make sense. I'd rather have something make sense. I don't know. This definitely just is not it.
And that's fine for like a Dynamite main event clusterfuck, $100,000 on the line. But dude, Stadium Stampede, you're entering the arena. Let's have a little beef to our story, dude. Like, even though the Death Riders and Bang Bang King's relatively new, we got legitimacy there. We got a crew versus a crew. We got a stable versus stable. We could sell that. Jay White's return, John Moxley. Like, we're fucking selling this shit. Like, we could tell that story.
Yeah,
this is like you said, forced, very forced. And I do think it's going to be four more people forced into the match that don't necessarily belong. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure the match is going to be fun, right? It's Stadium Stampede. It's going to be fun, but it just doesn't need to happen like this. Like every year, Stadium Stampede or Anarchy in the Arena, it usually is like months of two teams feuding with each other or somebody getting like, you know, the team getting the upper hand on somebody and he has to find backup, but the backup usually makes sense. It doesn't feel forced like this, so I don't know, but something that is not forced, something that I'm happy about. We've been talking about Harley Cameron on this show a lot. Harley Cameron, the Wrath is back. The Wrath of the Rack. I don't know. Something's back because Mina Shirakawa, she had to tell Harley to look inside here, and then she rips the shirt. And I guess that's what awoke in Harley Cameron. What did you think about this promo? Because I thought it was going really bad, really fast. Because Mina's acting was a little, and then when you had Harley Cameron come back and like she's back to being like, you know, feel the wrath. I thought that was really cool. And it led to a really cool matchup later on. We'll talk about it when we get there. But what did you think about this promo?
I'm with it because we've been asking on this show for Harley Cameron. Like, where is Harley Cameron? I mean, like I said last week, Harley Cameron could have been in the world title match, in my opinion. Like, where is Harley Cameron? She's back finally. It made me laugh. It's like one of those things where you always say, like, when you're a kid and you're watching wrestling, it's boring for like a couple hours, and then your mom walks in the room and like, or you're like your friends or something, and it's like, that's that awkward thing on TV. Like, that's what that felt like. But I mean, obviously, I loved it. It was I like Mina and Harley, and I mean, we'll talk about the match, but I feel like the wrong team won.
No, yeah, 100%. But that actually happened to me yesterday. So I'm watching Dynamite, and then my wife is like putting the kids to sleep. She walks in, and Harley's just got her, you know, her shit out, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?" I was like, "Don't ask. It's Harley Cameron. Feel the wrath." You know what I mean? All right, let's talk about the AEW International Champion Okada versus Bryan Keith. As soon as I saw this matchup was listed, I thought that, all right, it's official. The Learning Tree is not going to be a part of that Stadium Stampede matchup at all. Bryan Keith had a good showing against Okada. This matchup was very random. It was to get Okada on the card, especially to build up to what happened after the matchup. But Okada and Bryan Keith, I thought they had a good matchup, good chemistry. Bryan Keith is a really good wrestler, but Okada right now, firing on all cylinders, still as your international champion. I just don't get why these aren't eliminator matches. And I know that sounds weird because I said John Moxley has too many eliminator matches. I'm done with the eliminator matches. But if you already booked the matchup to be Okada versus Takeshita at the pay-per-view, why do you have Okada defending it like week in and week out saying, oh, well, if Okada does it, it will be Bryan Keith versus Takeshita. No, it's not. Like, we know where we're going with this. You might as well make this an eliminator matchup. So after this, you could have the person, if they win the eliminator matchup, go against the winner of Okada and Takeshita. It would make sense. But Okada wins nonetheless. Good matchup. And then afterwards, he says that he wants a world title shot. He doesn't want just the international champion. He wants Darby Allin's world champion. What did you think of this matchup and the post-match segment?
Yeah, Bryan Keith is a great worker, dude. Every time I see the guy wrestle, I walk away thinking the exact same thing. He's really talented in the ring. The match was so random and out of left field. And right, you're right. Why is John Moxley out here just doing eliminator matches and Okada out here defending the title when you got more story with Moxley and Juice? I mean, Moxley's like, fuck that, I'm not defending this belt. And I don't know, dude. But whatever. It is what it is. The match was good. It was just set up, like you said, to get Okada on the card, which is definitely needed. Okada wants the world title. I've been thinking for like 2 years now, why is Okada not wanted the AEW? It's been like 3 years since he's been in AEW, I think now. Time flies, dude.
Yeah, man, it is flying. I think it's probably like two, but
2 and some change. Because he's had this belt for over a year now. I think.
When did he come in? 2024 or 23?
I thought it was 24. I thought 24. I think it's like 2 years and some change. But yeah, he hasn't won the world title. So I love the fact that he's going for the world title. And I love the fact that Andrade should be the one going for the world title and Don Callis family. And this is going to cause that dissension within the ranks. And we'll talk about that in a little bit as well. So no, I'm all for it. It was a good match. Maybe a little longer than it should have been, but good match.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if he's going for the world title, we already know what Darby Allin's schedule is for the next couple of weeks, and it's going to be insane. But I'm very looking forward to that matchup. Next up on the show, we get a package for Andrade. I like that, even though he's not having a matchup on the show, which he should. He should have a matchup on Dynamite. It's been a couple weeks. Like, what are we doing? But they still continue to build him up, right? It's not like he's just like disappeared. And we've got a backstage segment later on, which I guess we could talk about now because it has to do with Okada and everything, right? So we had the backstage segment. Okada is there. Takeshita says to Okada that you shouldn't be focusing on the world title. You should be focusing on me at Double or Nothing. And then you had Don Callis say, you sound a lot like Kenny Omega right now. You guys need to understand that my handpicked guy is Kazuchika Okada. And then Andrade says, how do you know? I don't know why this has become his thing now, the how you know thing, but I love the fact that we still got that dissension and Andrade still looks like he is going to turn babyface, but having Okada feud with Andrade also on after this Okada versus Takeshita feud will be phenomenal. And I want to ask you a question too. Is Andrade, is he a part of the United Empire in New Japan? Because I saw him with the whole clique in that. Do you know if he's with he is?
Yeah. Yeah, he is. Andrade is part of the United Empire. Yeah, they got a lot of gold, a lot of talent. We're going to see that. I think we'll eventually see that Will Ospreay Andrade crossover in AEW, which will be, not as a team. I think we'll probably get that match in AEW, which will just be fucking lit, dude.
I got to watch more New Japan because, I saw him there. I was like, this is totally random. Why is Andrade with the United Empire? But, I love that they're continuing to build Andrade. And if Andrade is the breakout star to break away from that and then feud with Okada, take my money. I'm with it.
Man, Okada and Takeshita, and then you got Okada and Andrade after. That's going to be so good, dude.
Yeah, man, for sure. Something that's also so good. We hear from the Ops, Samoa Joe and the Ops. We had, not only did we have Anthony Bowens there, but we had Shibata there. Anthony Bowens maybe turn that hat backwards again because it looked better last week. I love what Samoa Joe's doing here, the whole feud with them and the Death Riders, and Samoa Joe saying to Ospreay, "You may have not have heard me. I extended my hand. I'm going to extend my hand for one more week, and if you don't accept it, it's going to become a fist." Give me Ospreay and Joe. That's going to be a phenomenal matchup. But this whole feud with the Ops and the Death Riders, that also could have been something you could have did at Stadium Stampede. And I don't know why they're not going that route, but I'm very intrigued with the whole interjection of the Ops with this whole Ospreay with the Death Riders. What do you think?
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. We could have definitely won Stadium Stampede with this, but I think it's because we're going to Ospreay and Samoa Joe at Double or Nothing, and that's just, man, that sounds phenomenal, dude. Joe's out here telling me he can take him to the next level. Moxley's already in the process of taking him to the next level. I love it, dude. I love that the focus is getting Ospreay to the next level because we all know what's coming. We all know he's getting that belt. We all know he's going to win the Owen, and we're all for it. But Ospreay, Joe, Double or Nothing, sign me up. I'm curious what else we're going to do in the options. Bowens, Hook, and Shibata going to go in the trios division. We need to get Bowens in the ring. Is Bowens going to go after the TNT title or something? What's the next steps for Bowens here? Obviously, Samoa Joe even said, he goes, we don't beat down our own. Hook might have lost, but I sent him out to Hollywood for a quick acting gig. So, but these guys got to do something in the ring. Cool, Bowens joined the Abs. Okay, but how's it going to make Bowens better? Cool. Hook's been in the Abs now for a year and a half. Where is Hook any different in his career than Hook was 4 years ago? He's not. Yeah. Same shit. He's just not walking around with that stupid fake belt anymore. That's the only difference. And I love the Abs.
Yeah, I just want to see
them. Shibata, I want to see him do something though. These guys they don't do anything ever.
Yeah, the last couple of weeks has just been neither one of them has a matchup or Samoa Joe just cuts a promo, and that's the only thing we see of the Ops. It was, I think, a cool move to put Bowens with them, but then give him something to do, have a match. Maybe, like you said, trios division. You're going to have a lot of tag teams in that tag division. Start building the trios division as well. That's a good trio to have. Shibata, Bowens, and Hook. I'm with it. I'm definitely with it. So next up, we have Harley Cameron and Mina Shirakawa versus Hikaru, Shida, and Kris Statlander. This, I got to say, Really good matchup. I agree what you said before earlier. The wrong team went over, but this was a really good matchup. Since coming back, I wasn't a big fan of Shida. I think Shida actually looked pretty good in this matchup. All 4 women did great. I had to write down, though, that Harley Cameron really stood out in this matchup, though. She was amazing, and she's really been growing so much in that ring. I feel like the team with Willow Nightingale was really good, but Harley Cameron was still like the weaker link of that team in this matchup. Even though Mina is a great wrestler, and I have nothing against Mina, Harley Cameron really stood out to me. Wrong team went over, but shout out to Harley Cameron. I think that there's a lot of upside for her. And yes, I agree with you. I think that she should be heading for a world title shot. She should be in the singles wrestling for titles because she has the star power, she has the personality, the charisma, and she got the in-ring talent. So push Harley Cameron. Really good match, though.
Yeah, I'm with everything that just came out of your mouth, dude. Every single thing. The match was really, really good. Of course, Shida's getting better. She wrestles every fucking week, sometimes on Collision and Dynamite, sometimes just on Collision, sometimes just on Dynamite. But yeah, no, Shida's been definitely getting better. I don't know. I thought this was setting up for Mina and Harley to win, for Mina and Harley to go after the tag titles at Double or Nothing. I don't know. They lose. Harley loses again. Shida and Stat, what? They're gonna go back after the tag titles. What are we doing? Are we still confused from Tony Storm? Like, I just don't know, man. I don't know what we're doing here. The Shida and Stat thing, I thought that would be building to a match at Double or Nothing, not a pre-show match, an actual match on the show, because they've been showcasing these 2 women. I don't know. They've been the focal point of the women's division the last 4 or 5 weeks. I don't know, man. It's the match is phenomenal, and I like the backstage segment, and I like what they're doing with Stat and Shida. I just don't know why Stat and Shida had to win this match. There should have been some dysfunction with Stat and Shida leading to a match at Double or Nothing, 2 matches at Double or Nothing, the singles match between them and the tag title match between Mina and Harley against Divine Dominion.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Divine Dominion fought Shida and Statlander last weekend. It wasn't anything special. Statlander and Shida, they looked as a team in that matchup. So it's not a matchup that I feel we should run back on pay-per-view, but I mean, hopefully it's better. I don't know where this is going, though. I'm still very confused by this whole thing. Something else I'm very confused about is Swerve Strickland and Bandito. We get a backstage segment. Swerve Strickland, he says that, 2 months ago, he was looking for power. He's the most violent. He's the most whatever. And now he wants to be the most wanted. And that's why he's going after Bandito. I don't know why this is the pivot for Swerve. Like, you lost to Kenny Omega, and it was a matchup that would have got you a world title shot. And not only that, but it was a matchup that also would have made you an EVP of the company. And then now you just like walk away after that, come back, and you're feuding with Bandito because you want to be the most wanted. Like, it feels a little weird. The matchup itself is going to bang. Like, I love both Bandito and Swerve, so this is nothing against them. I just don't understand why they're feuding, but I am looking forward to, if they have a matchup at Double or Nothing, give me that matchup. It's going to be awesome. I just think that Swerve went from being like a top guy here to now walking away, and now he's like building himself back up, but he didn't have to do all that. So what do you think about this? And like, why are we even getting this?
Yeah, there was no reason for Swerve to even have that match with Kenny Omega with all those stipulations online if we're going to lose him and just push him back down the card to Bandito. And I mean, no disrespect to Bandito, but Bandito just lost on pay-per-view to Andrade. And I think there's levels between Swerve and Andrade. We're trying to get to Andrade to Swerve's level, but now we're bringing Swerve down to Bandito and Andrade's level. And I guess no disrespect to those guys, because in my opinion, Bandito was like the 2nd best wrestler in the world last year behind Takeshita. And I mean like 1A, 1B. And that's why, like you said, this match is going to be fire. Match is going to be the match of the night. I'm going to go ahead and throw it out there right now. This match, Swerve and Bandito, will be the match of the night. I have no doubts about that. But why? Like, again, I'm asking this question of why. I get it. You need something to do with Swerve, but it does feel like not everyone can go for the world title. And I love how many guys are vying after the world title right now. I really do. And it wouldn't make sense for Swerve to go after the world title, considering that he just lost that contenders match for it. So I get it. And he's got to build himself back up. I guess I didn't like Brody's involvement backstage with it. Like, why is Brody threatening Swerve? Swerve just ran through you to become the most dangerous man in AEW. So, like, why are you getting involved? Okay, you have your boys back, but Swerve just ran through you, bro. So, like, fall back. You just lost that world title match. Just fall back a little bit, right? Brody's got to turn heel to me. Like, it sounds so crazy, but I think Brody needs to turn heel. It's really weird. But I don't know why we're doing this match. And it does feel like a major down. When Swerve, that's so funny that you use those words, because when Swerve was caught in that promo, I'm like, man, does this feel like just so much lower level than Swerve should be doing right now, man. And I think that like we're gonna build a Swerve versus Ospreay eventually for the world title in like December. But man, it's a long fucking time away for Swerve just kind of piddle around the middle, dude. And that's what he's gonna do. He's gonna just float around that upper mid card for the next 9-10 months until he takes the belts off Ospreay. And I think I don't know where we're gonna go with it, man. Maybe join the Hurt Syndicate, maybe become the leader of the Hurt Syndicate. Like that has some legs to it. Like maybe formula stable around him. That maybe something.
I would like that. I definitely would like that, because I feel like Swerve is best when he has like a storyline that's like long term and you can really sink his teeth into that storyline. Whenever he has these like small little sprint stories, it just feels like Swerve is above this. So I don't know. Like I really liked what he was doing with Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega we haven't seen since the night after, or the week after the Dynasty pay-per-view. So where do we go with that? Maybe we do get some involvement there. And I wrote that down too. Like, why is Brody King in here now? Like saying, "Oh, if you mess with my friends, there's gonna be hell to pay." Like we've seen this already, and none of this made sense. I like everyone involved, but it just doesn't make sense when you put it all together.
Yeah. And you're right though with Kenny. Like we thought, I'd go back and going back a couple of episodes, we thought that Swerve and Kenny would be the match at Double or Nothing in some sort of falls count anywhere or no holds bar match, some sort of like vicious stipulation match between the two of them, because I don't feel like that feud was anywhere near close to over after that Dynamite match. Swerve just disappeared until he came back to go after Bandito. He was not upset about losing to Kenny Omega. Like, why isn't he upset about losing to Kenny Omega? Like, maybe he is, and that's why he's going to take his frustrations out on somebody. So, I don't know. They got a lot of talent, bro. Like, they got a lot of, like, we're sitting here talking about Swerve and Bandito, and like, we got nothing for Brody right now at this point. We still got that. Maybe the ace of the company sitting on the sidelines after that fucking Texas death match. You got Hanger still sitting out there. Hangman Page is sitting out there doing nothing right now, just getting ready, getting amped up, getting healthy. You got Kenny out there without a significant feud. You got Swerve out there without a significant feud. You got Brody without a significant feud. And again, you got like 5 guys vying for the world title. Like, this roster is bat shit fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Which is why I almost think that it's ready for a complete brand split, a Dynamite Collision brand split.
You've been saying that for years. Like
but it takes away the ability to finagle the roster together, which I like being able to have whoever, whenever. But man, this roster, bro, it might be time for 2 world champions, dude. It is so fucking loaded, man.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much talent, but so little time on TV. I definitely think you can't showcase everybody. So you do get situations like this where like, oh, what is this guy doing? What's that guy doing? But there's ways to do it, right? There, you could just fine tuning. All Swerve has to say, right? I feel like if Swerve would have just added like one little line about Kenny Omega in this promo against Bandito, like after that, and be like, oh, and Kenny, by the way, when you decide to show up, this hell will pay, something like that. Then it's like, all right, we still have this here, but he's gonna have to do something in the meantime, right? But he didn't do nothing. He didn't say nothing about Kenny Omega. So just one little tidbit could have still connected it all together. But I mean, maybe they don't want to go that route. Maybe they're done with Kenny and Swerve. They had their 2 matches. I don't know. But I don't know. I just feel like there's so many people on this roster. Like you said, I think it may be time. And I wouldn't be mad at a Collision World Champion or something just to have 2 titles, 2 rosters. It doesn't have to be a hard brand split. I mean, it could be a soft brand split where you could still have like intertwining of these wrestlers.
Yeah.
And something that I think would be intriguing, like, is if you had like some of these like mid-card titles, like the TNT title probably could show up on both brands, or like the international champion shows up on both brands. You have one tag team and that tag team wrestles for both Collision and Dynamite. So if you did that, then you could still have like these feuds that go in between. But I definitely think it's time, because shit like this happens. Brody King was wrestling for the world champion, wrestled for the world champion twice. And now it's like, what are we doing with him? Swerve Strickland wrestling for an EVP spot. Now, what are we doing with him? So definitely, I think I'd be for it. I definitely would be for it.
And we're pushing guys, right? I mean, like, look at we talked about Roosh. We'll talk about him in a little bit. You got to think he's going for the world title. You got Andrade vying for it. You got Ciampa vying for it. You got Okada going for it. Brody, as we mentioned, Kevin Knight. Like, so it's not like guys aren't getting pushed. Tony is playing with his roster. This is just a big fucking deck of cards he's got to work with, man. And I think he's doing a great job. So like all this stuff, and maybe I don't sound like I think he's doing a great job by saying all this stuff doesn't make sense. But I think at the end of the day, with all these guys, it is really hard. Maybe less Chris Jericho, Ricochet, Stadium Stampede, and we can figure it out a little bit better. But no, just kidding.
It just came to me though. That would be a fun episode if we did like a bonus episode and we did like an AEW draft, and like one of us is Collision, one of us is Dynamite, and we like draft the whole roster out. That'd be fun.
I wanted to do that for a long time. I'm so game for that, dude. This roster is just so fucking stacked, dude. You have like 8 tag teams on each show, dude. We can draft like the tag teams coming into because they're coming. Like, oh man.
Yeah, man. Let's think about like doing that as a bonus episode. That'd be awesome. So we got the main
down.
Hell yeah, man. Main event world title matchup. It is Darby Allin versus the Jet Kevin Knight. This was a hell of a matchup, man. Some of the things I've seen in this matchup was insane. I say it every week. I do not know how Darby Allin is going to make it to Double or Nothing, man. Like, these matches get more and more intense every week. The spot where Kevin Knight had Darby Allin on the announce table and he hit that springboard clothesline to the announce table, it looked like Darby was like just done after that. Crazy spots, crazy action. Like, this was the Dynamite main event, which this is totally random. Like, when they have these shows like on demand, is this going to be like where Dynamite ends and then they show like Collision, or are they going to show it as like one big thing? I don't know. But the Dynamite main event here, Darby Allin walks out, still your champion. Sting comes out. He raises both of their hands. Really good matchup. Before we get to the MJF stuff, what did you think of the matchup?
I thought the match was awesome, dude. You hit on it. The clotheslines, the springboard clothesline to the outside was insane. The coast to coast was fucking insane, followed by the UFO. Darby, man. I don't want him to lose the belt. Like we said, I'd all the way to All In and have Ospreay with the Death Riders pull that championship off of Darby. I just think like that would just be so poetic when it was all said and done. But it's going to be MJF. They're putting the belt back on Max at Double or Nothing. And I guess I see why, because dude, Darby's wrestled, I think, 3 of these just crazy matches now. He's got Okada coming up. He's got Pac coming up on Saturday. He's going to get fucking... Last time he wrestled Pac, dude, Pac killed this guy. He's going to kill him again, dude. So I guess it's not sustainable. So I guess he has to lose the belt. But man, do I love these world title open challenges. He is just killing it, dude.
I mean, at the end of the day, we're going to look at the record books and we're going to see, even though it was a shorter run, it was a 1-month run, the amount of title defenses and who he defended against is going to make sure that this title run is a legendary title run, because it's absolutely insane. Anyway, so Collision starts, right? We got Collision now, and Sting is raising the hands of both Darby and Kevin Knight, and now comes MJF. MJF is like, all right, it's done. No one wants to see you as champion anymore. Give me back the title. Give me my title shot. And Darby says no. So he says, I said you have to give up something if you want a title shot. So MJF is like, all right, I know it's very expensive, but I'll put up my scarf for the title. And Darby said no. He says, I can't believe I'm doing this. I'll put up the Dynamite diamond ring to get this title shot. And Darby still says no. He says, I want you to put up something because you're such a vain motherfucker. You're going to have to put up your hair. Hair versus title, Darby Allin, MJF, probably going down at Double or Nothing. What did you think of this?
You good?
Yeah. Oh, did I?
I think it was me, dude. My bad, dude.
No, it's all good. Hair versus title, Double or Nothing. What do you think of MJF and Darby Allin?
I just love the subtlety of Darby Allin still, each and every week. Just no, not enough. No. The hair thing's interesting. I don't know. MJF having to shave his head, that doesn't do anything for me, dude. Yeah. I think like they could have thought of it's 1,000. The ring would have been better. I mean, Max has been cheating with that ring for so long. Obviously, again, I think Max is gonna. But hair. I mean, I think the stipulation kind of sucks, to be honest with you, man. Well, what do you think?
Yeah, I personally thought it would have been more poetic for Darby Allin to force MJF to put up what he made Hangman Page put up and say, if you lose this next shot, then you can never wrestle for the title again. Even though we just got that Revolution, it would have been like poetic, like I said, to make MJF to go through what he put Hangman through. I don't know. I thought that would have been a lot more impactful.
So good, bro. That would be so good. And then, and then you think like it's possible because Hangman just lost, so he obviously can't do it again. Oh, man, that would have been so good. Do you think there's a chance that Darby wins that match at Double or Nothing? Or do you think it's just like a lock that MJF's walking away with the belt?
Damn, man, I don't know. Like I think like everyone thinks that it's pretty predictable that MJF would walk away with that title, but what if, right? Like, but what would be the scenario if you had Darby beat MJF clean? That probably like kills MJF dead in the water at that moment, like because you had him lose to Darby. Kind of, there was like some shenanigans there. You had him lose to Kevin Knight, and then he still makes his way to be in the pay-per-view for the main event, and he loses against Darby again. Where do you go with MJF? And as much as I would love to see Darby versus Ospreay, I think you could do more of the story of MJF versus Ospreay. I know we've seen that at Wembley already, but MJF is going to be really like, I don't know, just like antagonizing Ospreay and like making fun of his neck and like telling him like, you can't do it. You're not who you are anymore. We're not going to get that type of emotion between Darby and Ospreay. So I feel like to go into the summer and head to Wembley, we definitely need MJF with that title. Like I love what Darby's doing, these open challenges, but he can't sustain it. He's burning the candle at both ends. He cannot sustain this. Imagine if he was still the champion and he holds his title all the way to All In. Can he do weekly matches like this defending the title? Eventually he's going to have to stop. So I feel like before we get to the point where this guy is seriously injured, because like we joke about like, yeah, he's getting destroyed in there, but he really is. Like these matches are very just high octane, high impact, and eventually he is going to get injured, and I don't want to see that happen. So I do feel like for Darby's sake and for the sake of a big money feud going into Wembley, I think MJF has to win this matchup.
Yeah, Ospreay and MJF. As badly as I'd like to see Ospreay and Darby, I think Ospreay and MJF is their big ticket match. I mean, MJF's their biggest star, and Ospreay's the guy, right? Like if you were starting the draft between the two, we're doing the draft. I think Ospreay's probably 101. I think he's probably the first pick in the draft. So, well, if not MJF, so I think it's 1 and 2. So,
I definitely agree. But we can't forget about the guy who announced that he wants the title next week, and that is Kazuchika Okada, who comes out after this while Darby's still in the ring. He grabs the mic and he says that next week he will be the new world champion. And before he could say bitch, Darby Allin grabs the title and he says, "You're on, bitch." So next week, Darby Allin, Okada. Realistically, can Darby Allin beat Okada? I'm sure we're going to see Takeshita involved in that matchup somehow, because you look at Okada's legacy. I don't think it's realistic for Darby Allin to go over on Okada, but with the feud with Takeshita, we're definitely going to see some shenanigans. I'm looking forward to that matchup very much so, though, next week with Okada and Darby Allin.
Oh, it's going to be so good, dude. It's going to be so good. But yeah, I think it's pretty obvious Takeshita's going to get involved. Darby will roll him up or something and get the win that way.
Yeah, for sure. We're backstage. We see Ospreay with Doc Sampson. Doc Sampson says that even though, he wasn't giving Ospreay his approval to go wrestle in Japan, he came back. He thinks somehow what's going on with the Death Riders is working, because he said his neck looks good. He's going to give him an MRI. And if he continues on this route, then he's going to clear him for competition in AEW. This is really cool because it shows that it's not just the Death Riders beating down Ospreay. It's actually working. Ospreay is getting stronger. He's getting more. He's building himself up, and he's going to be cleared to wrestle. I think, like you said, this is going to probably lead to Ospreay, Samoa Joe at Double or Nothing.
Yeah, I like it. It was a nice twist, like you said. The Death Riders activities are working, or whatever you're doing right now is working. Keep it up. Love it. Just a nice, simple nod to the story. And yeah, Ospreay and Joe for sure. I think it's pretty much locked. That'll be one of their big matches for the show.
Hell yeah. First matchup on Collision, we have AR Fox and Speedball Mike Bailey. These two guys are just super talented, man. Like I remember seeing these guys go at it in Evolve. I believe it was like 2012, 2013. Super, super talented wrestlers here. High octane, high flying. At one point, you had AR Fox go for the low main pain. He looked like he landed on his head. And like after that, you had Speedball go for the shooting star into the knees for the victory. I like that we see Speedball here. He's continuing to win matches. I like that we saw Speedball and Jet earlier in the night cut the promo. Like everything's still good between them. Thoughts on the matchup? I don't think it's leading to anything, but thoughts on the matchup?
Yeah, it's something that I've wanted for quite some time in AEW, because I think that they could do it correctly. Dude, give me a fucking... I know we have 700 titles, so I apologize for asking for another title. But give me a cruiserweight title, dude. I don't care if you need to merge an international, a continental, a TNT, whatever you need to do with those, the national, now that you have the national belt. I don't care if you need to merge one of those to get a new belt, give me a cruiserweight title, dude. We got luchadors always flying around this company. You got guys like Speedball. You guys got like guys like AR Fox. You got Mascara Dorado. You got Mystico there, dude. And there's just so much other talent that could be in this division. Give me a cruiserweight title. Let these guys just cook for 12 minutes a show as they can.
Yeah.
It's more wrestling. And I think something Tony Khan might want to do in the future. I think we might see a cruiserweight title. We got, dude, Speedball is the inaugural cruiserweight champion. Would be sick, dude. Mascara Dorado, Mystico walking around with that thing would just be beautiful. So you got the roster talent for it.
Nah, I definitely agree. Willow Nightingale's on this show. Willow Nightingale, she's backstage. She said that she already had 9 defenses and she plans on keeping the honor of the Turner broadcast station alive by defending this TBS title week in and week out. It looks like that she's going to have an open challenge. I don't know if it was clear for this week or for the pay-per-view, but who do you think is next and who you set up for a TBS title shot against Willow Nightingale?
Man, that's a tough one with who they have on TV. I mean, they really haven't been using that many. Like, I wanted Harley for a while. I mean, I just want Harley to go after a singles belt, but I thought Harley should have turned heel when after Willow attacked her, won the belt from her. I thought that story had a lot of legs. But as far as who, I mean, the Birds are mixed up with the Sisters of Sin and Tekla. It's obviously not going to be Tekla. It's not going to be Stat or Shida, Mina, Harley. I don't know, bro. Does Ruby Soho return? We got like a returning Ruby Soho? Do we get a returning Britt Baker? Like Thunder Rosa? I don't know.
Bring up Athena. What were you doing here? Bring up Athena.
I'm over that. I think that's over. I've been asking for that. I asked for that for like 2.5 years. The Forever Champ. I think she's over like 1,300 days. It's fucking crazy, dude.
Insane.
Good for her. It's clearly what she wants to do. If she wanted to be in AEW, she'd be in AEW. Let's be real.
I agree.
So, but I don't know. Who do you think? Camille? No, we just did that.
Yeah, we just did Camille.
Mercedes coming back, take the belt off of her. That's silly because Mercedes.
Yeah, that would suck.
Title.
Oh man, I don't know. Like maybe Persephone. We haven't seen much of her. Like Persephone versus Willow would be a fun matchup. Did they wrestle yet for the TBS champion? Like, was that one of her matches?
Oh, it was. She did, dude. I think they did wrestle. I think she was the CML. Well, she's still the CML Women's Champ. Yeah, I think they might have did this not long ago. Now that I'm thinking about it,
I don't know, man. I don't know, but got to start building up some women. Speaking of women, we had Jamie Hayter versus Sky Blue on this matchup. I wouldn't have been mad if Sky Blue found a way to win this matchup in Sky Blue versus Willow Nightingale. I like Sky Blue. Sky Blue is super talented, in my opinion. Chicago girl, I know you probably like Sky Blue, right?
Yeah. So she's super talented. I think she's gotten a lot better in the ring over the last couple of years too.
Mm-hmm. She does that wink thing a lot, but definitely a fun matchup here between Jamie Hayter and Sky Blue. Sky Blue doesn't look like she's getting a title shot anytime soon because Jamie Hayter got the victory here. Really good matchup. I think that Jamie Hayter needs to start tag teaming with Alex Windsor. Like, let's continue to build the Brawling Birds. Like, I'm done with the whole singles, like, here and there. Like, you create the Brawling Birds and now you just have them doing singles matches. Like, let's keep them as a team and let's build up for a tag title shot. It looks like we're still going with Tekla and with Jamie Hayter because they had that stare down again after this matchup. Don't know why we're doing this. Like, Jamie Hayter lost. I know that it was like dirty, but Jamie Hayter lost. Alex Windsor lost. We don't need to see another match against Tekla at the pay-per-view unless we do what you said last week and go with a triple threat. I want to be mad at that. But then if you have Tekla beat both of them, now you really like destroyed them. How do you go from that to a tag title shot at Wembley? Nonetheless, I think if you have the tag teams, keep the tag team strong, go with those tag teams and build your tag division because you have 1,000 other women you could put in this spot against Tekla.
Yeah, man. I don't know at this point. Well, the match itself was good. I thought Jamie and Sky had good action. I love the ending. I think she hit the ripcord from the top rope. I mean, that was pretty dope. Don't put that in the match. And just like we talked about with Willow, where do you go with Tekla? I think obviously we're building the Tekla versus the Brawling Birds, Tekla versus Jamie, but who wants to see Tekla versus Jamie again, right? Maybe you do the triple threat, but at the end of the day, we got like 17 days, and I'm not seeing anything from I hate to beat the fucking horse because we do it over and over again each and every week. But I mean, how long now has Tony been hurt? How long has Tony been? Like, why not Marina Shafir? Yeah. We built Marina Shafir up to be this dominant badass, and now what? She loses 2 singles matches. She loses to Tony. She loses to Mina. And now she doesn't wrestle anymore. It's like, what are we? Why can't Mina or why can't Marina Shafir take that belt off Willow? Or at least I think did she wrestle Willow for it at one point already and lose? I mean, has Willow wrestled everyone already? Like, does Willow have? I mean,
she had 9 defenses, right? So 9 defenses. I'm trying to remember like most of them. I know she beat Megan Bain. I know she beat, like you said, Persephone. I know she beat Camille. There's other women that you could put up there, surely, right? I mean, they have a bunch of women on that roster.
Julia Hart used to have that belt. There's no reason she can't be going for that belt. As far as Tekla's belt goes, I don't know, man. Maybe I've just been so positive on AEW's women's division. I didn't really sit back and look at the totality of it. That at the end of the day, we got 3 titles, and there's just not a lot of juice behind any of them. There's no juice. I mean, Tekla's great, but there's no juice behind her world title run. Willow is great. She does all the open challenges. She beats everybody, but where's the feud there?
Yeah.
Divine Dominion, since winning these belts, has done absolutely nothing but open challenges against jobbers. I guess they beat Stat and Willow, or Stat and Shida. Bro, I don't know. It's you got women like Deonna Purrazzo and Athena who are champions, and even Red Velvet who are champions down in ROH. There's no reason that those 3 can't be contributing at a high level to the AEW women's roster. I don't know where we go with Double or Nothing with the women's matches, but Tony's definitely got to figure out. He's got to figure it out quickly with all 3.
I feel like at one point you're going to have to kill 2 birds with 1 stone if you're going to have Willow Nightingale who can't find an opponent, and Tekla who can't find an opponent. Throw Tekla versus Willow Nightingale at the pay-per-view. I mean, there you go. Like, you got to do something.
Great booking. That's great because Willow is the biggest women's star, I think, other than Mercedes on their roster.
Yeah.
I would probably think, right? At this point?
Well, I mean, Toni Storm is she's still out though. Like, if we were taking her out, then I would say like she's the most over.
Tony, yeah. But
right now she's the most over.
Yeah. I think Willow and Tekla would be great, but then I'd be like, Willow, take the belts off of her, right? But at least it would be like that would be a big win for Tekla too, dude. To Tekla to beat Willow, retain the title. Write that shit. I'd be down for that for sure. I definitely would be down for that. And we could have them food for like 6 weeks and like lead to the match. Like that's like good TV killing time for the women. And then you can get the Brawling Birds mixed up in the tag team division. Yeah. I like that. That occupies.
It starts to correct itself for sure. Like everything that you have, like all the holes right now with the women, it will correct itself. Yeah, I definitely think that they should do that. They should go that route. I'm excited to see Roosh on TV every single week. Roosh gets a victory here. Another jobber match, another enhancement matchup, which is fine with me. Keep Roosh strong. After seeing this matchup, after seeing him get on the mic, and then once again, you mess with the bull, you get the horns, all that cool shit. Yeah. I definitely think that we're building up one of these weeks. Maybe not next week because it's Okada. Probably the week afterwards. I think we definitely see Roosh versus Darby. What do you think?
Yeah, Roosh versus Darby on Collision next week, I think, is where we're going to go. And if it's not Roosh versus Collision on Darby next week, it'll be – let me look at the calendar. So yesterday's 6th, 13th, 20th. Yeah, it'll be Darby versus Roosh on Wednesday the 20th. That'll be my prediction. That'll be his last title defense before Double or Nothing. And I think it's going to be a fucking banging match. I can't wait for it, dude.
Hell yeah, man. Like, if that happens now, like, screen record this right here. Wednesday the 20th. Tim King said it. Darby versus Roosh. We got Nostradamus here. That'll be awesome. I can't believe how much I like Jack Perry now. Like, Jack Perry, all he had to do was go back to this Jungle Boy gimmick or Jungle Jack Perry. I love the whole, like, the Jungle Express and then him climbing the rock and all that. Super cool promo here. But last year at this time, I couldn't stand the Scapegoat. I thought that this shit sucked. I thought it was stupid. Like, it was him trying to build a career, or not a career, a gimmick off of the firing of CM Punk. Even though we all saw the footage, we all saw he got choked out. Like, I was not a fan of this at all. But lately, I've been really liking Jack Perry, and I'm excited for his matchup with Mark Davis this Saturday at the Fairway for Hell, or Fairway to Hell, whatever it's called. I'm excited for that. What do you think about Jack Perry? The whole thing he's doing now with like the Jungle Express, or was Jurassic Express? Forgot what it's called. The whole bust gimmick, I guess. What do you think with Jack Perry? What do you think is he going to retain his title against Mark Davis?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I love the gimmick. I love everything he's doing since he brought Jungle Jack back, since he got back with Luchasaurus. The bus thing, it's really cool. I like him. Kind of like him in real life too. All the shit talking he does on Anna Jay's streams has been pretty entertaining on social media. I don't know. I don't know what I want. My brain's like 50-50 on this because I think that Jack Perry's just coming into his own with his title. He just won the title. I don't want him to lose it. He just beat Dump Truck. Are we going to have him beat Mark Davis again? Why are we doing this match again if it means Mark Davis isn't going to win the match? I think Mark Davis is going to win this match. I don't. I think Jack Perry. I don't know, man. I'm going to sound. This is real bad. I feel like I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth right now. I don't know why we're going back to Mark Davis in Jungle Boy. I guess unless we're going to put the belts on Mark Davis. We've been asking for Mark Davis. I think we literally said to win the national championship, going back like 8 weeks. So I'm not opposed to it by any means. It just feels like weird timing on a weird. It feels like this is like a battle of the belt show, and we never see title changes on those. So my brain's going to tell me no, that Jack will not lose this belt, but my gut is telling me that Mark Davis will walk away with this title. What do you think?
I don't know. I'm right there with you, but I do think that if you're going to book this matchup again, Jack Perry hasn't had many defenses in between the matchup with Mark Davis at Dynasty. So why would you do this again? I would give it to Mark Davis. Mark Davis, the last time we saw him in a matchup, he defeated Will Ospreay. So I think that if he could defeat Will Ospreay, then he could definitely defeat Jack Perry. So I think that Mark Davis may walk out as your champion on Saturday.
Man, there'll be a party over here, dude.
Ain't no party like the dump truck party.
Yeah, baby. Let's go.
I'm with it. All right, let's talk about the main event of this show. 10-man tag. This is what, like I said, this is the AEW signature main event, I feel. Like you have these 10-man crazy-ass wild matches. I don't even think there was a tag once in this matchup. This was definitely a 10-man tornado matchup. We have another one booked for Dynamite next week, but this was a lot of fun. Wheeler Yuta, Daniel Garcia, Claudio Castagnoli, and the Dogs, David Finlay and Clark Connors, versus the Young Bucks, the Guns, and Ace Austin. What do you think about this matchup? I thought it was nonstop action, and this is a lot of fun. And I love that this was like the stamp that they needed on such a long show, because it was a much longer show. 3 hours is longer than their typical. And then you just have like a main event where it's just like batshit crazy fun. Like, what do you think?
Yeah, it was good. It was a fun match. I think it's funny they just substituted the Rascals with the Bang Bang Gang this week. Like it was like the exact same match I think last week, and I think they might have like substituted Claudio out for Pac or something. I don't know. But these matches are always fun. We talked about it earlier. This roster is so big, it's so deep, it has so much talent. You got to do these makeshift 10-man and 8-man tags, and I don't care if they have one of these on every show. Again, the talent pool is there. Get your talent on the show, and it's a whole hell of a lot of fun. My only gripe with it is that I DVR'd it. I was a little bit behind. I was like maybe 15 minutes behind. It didn't pick up the fucking end of the show. And I'm like, really fucking overrun on a 3-hour show. So I didn't even see the winner. And I still don't even know who fucking won. So, so I enjoyed the match. My assumption was I actually did the fantasy wrestling results with the winners being the Death Riders team. So maybe I did that wrong. But who won? Who won the match?
It was actually wrong. The Young Bucks and the Bang Bang Gang won the match.
I threw that extra 5 at the heels for no reason. Oh, shit. Okay.
And something that I was actually happy for was Ace Austin got the victory for his team. We said it last week with his match with Okada. Continue to build Ace Austin because I see a bright future for him. With all the talent in this matchup, he got the pinfall victory, which was really cool. He hit that flipping DDT pile driver looking move. Really cool. And then afterwards, I know it's not going to lead to anything. I thought it was just a cool little Easter egg. You had the Bang Bang Gang and the Young Bucks all throw up the 2 Sweet. They all gave the 2 Sweet, giving the Young Bucks their, the whole Bullet Club feel, which was really cool. But yeah, very happy for Ace Austin, and he's going to continue to be built up on this show.
Who'd he pin? Wheeler?
Yeah, he pinned. I mean, everyone knew when Wheeler was in that matchup. If they were going to take the loss, Wheeler was going to be the fall guy. Yeah, but he pinned Wheeler.
Sure. Okay. All right, cool. Yeah, I guess I should have assumed that Colton's first match back, they probably should have got the dub. All right.
He looked like $1 million in there too. Like he was like standing and banging with Claudio at points. Like really, really cool to see Colton back as well. Yeah. So how do you want to do this rating? Because like I was going back and forth. Do you want to rate the show as a 3-hour whole, or do you want to, since they separated it, I guess, with Collision and Dynamite, do you want to rate Dynamite and then Collision? Or like it's up to you.
I mean, I guess it doesn't matter. I guess we could just do the whole 3 hours. I guess my grade's not. I don't think my score is going to change really either way.
All right. So what do you give it?
I'm at like a 3.75 for it. I think it was long. It was a long show. It wasn't bad, but again, like I said, there was a couple of times that I said, like, why are we doing this? So I guess if I have to ask why are we doing this a couple of times throughout the show, then I can't give it the highest of scores. But yeah, I think it was solid. When's the in-ring stuff ever not good, right? The in-ring stuff was good. I think story has definitely progressed in a lot of ways. I like the Ospreay stuff that they're continuing to do. But yeah, a solid 3.75. What about you?
Yeah, I have it down as a 3.5. I mean,
Whoa.
I don't know if WWE kind of soured me on 3-hour shows. I think that's way too long for a professional wrestling show, for a televised show. Pay-per-views, have fun, go wild, like whatever. Like I'm cool with AEW going like 4 or 5 hours. I don't give a fuck. They give you more bang for your buck. When you have two shows separated and then altogether it's 3 hours and there's commercial breaks in between and you're just filling up as much as you can, it did feel at points that the show dragged, but it was never because of the in-ring action. Like you said, in-ring action was amazing. A lot of the storylines I am really still intrigued with. I love the Death Rider stuff with Will Ospreay. I love the Ops stuff. I love where they're going with Darby, MJF, and having Okada and Pac thrown into there as well. I just feel like it was a little too much on a 3 hours on a Wednesday night, and it just felt like it was like, I don't know. It just felt like it was good for what it was, but it felt too stretched out at times, if that makes any sense. But because of that, like,
it makes a ton of sense.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I just been very soured on like the 3-hour wrestling show on a weekly. Like, I'm glad that, WWE is going back to 3 hours. I mean, going back to 2 hours with SmackDown. It just makes everything feel so stretched out. Like now you have a strong 2 hours. It's like, how are we going to fill up that third hour? And I feel like if they would have moved the Darby Allin matchup, I understand why they wanted to do it, but if they would move the Darby Allin matchup as the main event of this show, then it may have took it up a couple points just because it would have felt like that was the main event of the show overall. But I always found it so stupid. If you're going to have a 3-hour time block, just call it AEW Dynamite. You have a show on Saturday. You could have called the show on Saturday AEW Collision, Fairway from Hell. You didn't have to call it, Fairway to Hell and then have Collision here. Like, it just makes no sense to me. So to have it separated, I think that messed up the pacing of the show as well. And for that reason, I'm giving it a 3.5.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't understand it at all. I give it a 3.75 because I think like everything that was on it was good outside of those couple like what the fuck, like what are you doing moments. So I love the in-ring action. I thought the stories progressed throughout the show, but you can't do what they do, man. You can't put that world title match at 8:45, 9:45 Eastern, and then have that random scrum of a match as your main event because it's Collision. That just doesn't make sense to, like you said, call it Dynamite for 3 hours, call it Dynamite plus Collision, whatever it is, what it is. We all know it's one show. So just fucking structure your show properly, structure the beginning, structure the end, and structure everything in between. The show, yeah, I think maybe, and I would have given it a 3.75 regardless of even if that 3 hour, I think maybe that's also why I feel the way I felt about it. Was just 3 hours sucks. It is way, and then an overrun, 3 hours and an overrun.
Yeah, and an overrun with that is it's overkill. That's what it is.
Way too much, dude. Yeah. I'm with you for sure.
I mean, you have a main event matchup for the world title, and then you have like a Roosh jobber match afterwards, like a couple minutes after. It's like, what are we doing? But anyway, we have Fairway to Hell going down this Saturday. 3 matches announced so far. We have Divine Dominion in action. We don't know who they're going against. It just says Divine Dominion in action. I hope it's not just a jobber matchup or an enhancement talent matchup. We should have like, I know, but I mean, come on. For the national champion, we had Jack Perry and Mark Davis, which we talked about should be a lot of fun. And then Darby Allin's defending his title just a few days after his matchup with the Jet Kevin Knight. He's going against Pac. Like you said, last time these two went against each other, Pac destroyed him. So it's going to be very fun to see Darby Allin go against Pac. And then just a few days after that, have to go against Okada. So you looking forward to Saturday?
Yeah, it should be real good. Darby and Pac is always a pleasure in the ring. We get to see Divine Dominion, and I think that Jack Perry Mark Davis match is going to be really good and probably going to get that title change like we were talking about. Yeah. So yeah, it should be a real good quick hour show.
Most definitely. I'm looking forward to it. I'm not to be that guy, but I'm looking forward to it a lot more than the other show going on Saturday. But speaking of the other show,
I forgot that was even.
Yeah, man. Trust me. Just gave my predictions for that. It's I don't know. I don't know why we have to have. I don't know. Anyway, let's talk about the news that dropped last week or during the weekend. The New Day, no longer with the WWE. The New Day, they were asked to restructure their contracts. They decided that, we know our worth, and they walked. The speculation right now is that the New Day will end up in AEW. I mean, why wouldn't they? You have a friendship between Xavier Woods and Kenny Omega. The dream match that people wanted to see for a while was the New Day versus the Elite. We seen them do like the video game stuff, like the what was the Street Fighter tournament that they had.
Yep.
Do you think it's a foregone conclusion that the New Day ends up in AEW? And if so, what is your like dream matches for the New Day in AEW?
Damn, dude, I'm pretty upset right now. I thought that you were going another way with this conversation. I thought we were going to do the best of Tonga Loa and what we could possibly get from Camacho and where he's going to go from here.
Camacho Hunico versus FTR. Book it.
Matt, sign me up for that. Triple threat ladder match, Camacho and Hunico against Coven Cage versus Young Bucks.
No, you know what you do? You put the Sin Cara match up. No, sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. You put the Sin Cara basket back on Hunico. You do Hunico and Mystico versus El Clone and Hologram. Dude, it writes itself. Like, what are we doing?
That's good. That's good shit. Sign me up for that for sure. But yeah, man, it's inevitable. I think everyone, I'm seeing people on Twitter, I see people I've talked to, and they're like, oh, no, they're not going to go to AEW. Woods is going to sign some contract where he can game with WWE. And I'm like, if you guys don't think that New Day already knew they were going to AEW when TKO said take a half fucking half pay cut, you're out of your fucking minds. They knew exactly they were going to AEW. Woods and Kenny Omega are great friends. Kofi's got friends, connections in the industry, top to bottom. He's been doing it for so damn long. And it's the fucking New Day. Now, I'll be the first to admit that this version of the New Day, Woods and Kofi, is definitely the weakest version of the New Day. So there's a little something in me that's hoping that maybe Big E can get out of his contract too, and maybe, just maybe, he can get cleared by AEW doctors the same way that others got cleared by AEW doctors that weren't cleared by WWE doctors. And maybe we get the best version of that tag team again. And maybe we get that trio, and we get the Elite trio versus the New Day trio. And that is something that gives me goosebumps that I really, really want. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to be greedy. I'm going to take what I can get. And it's a New Day. Yes, it is. And it's a New Day for the New Day. And the New Day versus the Young Bucks. I cannot wait. I think it's going to be phenomenal. I think you do it at All In. I think, I thought that we were going to get some sort of match with the Young Bucks and Cope and Cage at All In. But maybe now we just do the New Day, or maybe we do Cope and Cage versus the New Day versus FTR versus the Young Bucks, or maybe we get real crazy and we throw the Motor City Machine Guns in there. I mean, bro, you're looking at this tag division, that is 5 elite. Like, you're looking at 5 of the top 12, top of the top 15 teams of all time, dude. That's fucking insanity what AEW can present from their tag division. I can't wait to see what Kofi and Woods could bring, man. I don't know how long they'll be over and relevant to me in AEW. I think that their star might fade quick, but that initial pop that they're going to get in that first year and a half with all the fresh matchups should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, man. Like, it's very exciting to think of what could be. AEW already, like we said, stacked roster with a stacked singles division, stacked main event division. But even though they have a lot of great tag teams, you could make this, for a lack of a better term, an elite tag division. And I think that that's going to be awesome. I think that we already are building up to that. That's why we see so many of these 5 tag team matches, that we see these, like, even like that Dax versus Orange Cassidy match. We showcased Roppongi Vice. We showcased Cope and Cage in that. We showcased the Young Bucks. We showcased the Dogs. Just to show, like, look at all these tag teams. You got the Guns back. And then to think that in a couple of months, or even less, we're going to be able to add the Motor City Machine Guns to that. Then you could add the New Day to that. And this is all before Wembley. I think you really have a good chance of selling out that stadium again if you start to incorporate these tag teams into that division. You book some crazy-ass ladder match at Wembley. It's going to be insane. And yeah, I agree with you. I feel like what WWE's done with New Day for like the last couple years has been stale. I feel like they dropped the ball with the whole heel turn. Like, I thought it was really cool. The initial shock of them turning heel on Big E was like, oh my God, this is unexpected. Where are we going to go with this? But then from there, it just was like, all right, like, what are we going to do with them? And they did nothing. You had them win their matchup at WrestleMania against the War Raiders, and then they never did nothing with them after that. They put them with, what's his name, Grayson Waller, which I felt never fit. So I feel like if they want to rectify this, if they want to continue to build their legacy out, they have to make a move like this, and they have to go somewhere where they could showcase their talents, and they're going to showcase their talents in AEW. I see people saying, like you said, Xavier Woods may stay for the video game thing. I don't think Xavier Woods says no to a pay cut, says that I'm worth more than that, and then signs another deal with them to, do the video game stuff. AEW has their own game division. I could see Xavier Woods as like the host of AEW games on YouTube within like the first week. So I don't know. I think that this is very big for them, and this is going to be the start. This is going to be the start of other wrestlers in the WWE who are asked to take a pay cut, say, no, I'm not worth that. I'm worth more than that. And I mean, AEW can't take them all, but if they have a company where it's doing the exact opposite, because we just were told, I saw somewhere that Will Ospreay said that his neck surgery was worth more than his house, and Tony Khan paid for every single penny of it. You have that on one side. On the other side, they actually take a 50% pay cut. Like, you're going to want to go work for the guy who's there for the wrestlers, who cares for the wrestlers. Very Ted Turner-like. Like you said, it was a perfect way that Sting brought up Ted Turner and Tony Khan are very similar. I think that you're going to want to go work for the guy who cares for his wrestlers. So this could be the start of a revolution where more people walk out because they're being told to take a pay cut, and then AEW is going to reap the benefits by having such, big names want to go work for them. Like you said, can't take them all, but if you already had the narrative that, like, hey, these guys are walking away to come work for us, that's all you need is just that narrative. So I think this is big.
I just need Bayley. I don't really care for much. I just need Bayley out of her contract ASAP in AEW. Like, you talk about bolstering that women's division in a huge way. Dude, she's single-handedly. And I know when Mercedes comes back, that's why I laugh. The women's division feels down right now because Mercedes and Tony aren't there, dude. When Mercedes gets there, it's going to take that climb to the next level. Imagine Bayley there, dude. Bayley would ascend that division in ways that I don't think we've never seen before. And then when Tony gets back, Tony and Bayley with Mercedes, oh, man, that's who I want. That's who I'm waiting. And they don't do anything with her. They don't use her. Yeah. So, like, let her go and help run that women's division in AEW. She would be so perfect for it.
I think this is, like I said, it's going to be the start. More and more people are going to stand up for themselves and say, we're not going to take this. And they're going to walk away. Like you said, Bayley would be an amazing to the AEW women's division. It would be another big name who's been champion and wrestled at WrestleMania. Like, that already brings a lot of stock with you. We go to AEW and you wrestle like Bayley. Even if she went back to like the Hugger gimmick, that would be a perfect tag team with Willow. Like, Bayley and Willow would make a perfect tag team. I'm with it, but definitely excited to see what the future is for the New Day.
It's a new day.
It's a new day. Yes, it is.
It's a new day. Yes.
So what you got coming up this week? Is this the final spot or?
No, I think I uploaded that video with me and Mike Dog that we did last week. I was going to do something with the kids. We were going to record. I accidentally deleted the video. We might do predictions for Backlash. Jameson likes doing the pay-per-view ones. He's all into it. So we might do a quick one, just me and the boy. But other than that, not too much. I'll be hanging out. I'm looking forward to Saturday night for sure. Not for Backlash, but to see Dump Truck take that belt. And Dynamite next week's already starting to look good. What about you, bro?
Yeah, man, for sure. I got Wrestling DeLorean podcast dropped yesterday. We got another episode coming out on Friday. Gonna give Backlash predictions and predictions for AEW Fairway to Hell. Also got the Scouter Vision podcast. We're up and running doing that. A lot of new Dragon Ball podcasts coming out every single week, 3 times a week with my wife. And yeah, I just love doing this, man. All Elite Dirt Sheet. I'm excited for next week to talk about what goes down on Dynamite. But with that being said, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. Definitely hit that like button, hit that subscribe button here on the Circle Debate YouTube channel. Live watch alongs every single week, every single day, pretty much for every single wrestling show, Raw, SmackDown, TNA, AEW, NXT. We got the pay-per-view watch along. We got UFC watch alongs, gaming, sports, everything you can ask for, all on one channel. Hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much for everybody who tuned in. I appreciate you all. Peace out, y'all.